The easiest way to close your customers is to set it up so the purchase of your product validates their belief that they belong in the top 20% of society. This is the mechanism that is behind all conspicuous consumption. So when they buy your product, that's a validation of their status and their traits relative to other people. So how do you do this? Well, the first step is to get familiar with a list of what are called pro-social traits. These are traits that we do that help other people. And when we genuinely help other people, we get positive validation in response, genuine appreciation in response. And whoever does this the most in ancient hunter-gatherer societies, they rose to the top of the hierarchy. So the prime directive was to win the pro-social behavior contest, to provide the most value to other people. So we like to believe that we have these pro-social traits better than everybody else. And these pro-social traits are things like making strong decisions, being a proactive thinker when other people can't, having unique ideas that can help other people, being persuasive when talking to other people, having a unique understanding of human nature so you can navigate society and help other people get their needs met. And so once you have a list of these pro-social traits, or you have a couple that are your favorite, you can target these in your customers through identity priming. Now, because our ego programs us to believe we belong in the top 20% of society, and because these pro-social traits will get us into the top 20% of society, we all believe that we have these pro-social traits better or stronger than 80% of the population. Everybody believes they are a better decision maker than 80% of the population. Everybody believes that their ideas and their opinions are better than 80% of the population. Everybody believes that they understand human nature better than 80% of the population. And so when you identity prime people with these pro-social traits, they will voluntarily accept this identity because that validates what they already believe on a subconscious level. Now, how do you identity prime people? You listen to them talk, you listen to them answer your questions, and then you say, excuse me, but something you just said made me think of something, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that you are somebody that has a unique understanding of human nature, and you can use that sometimes to give people very good advice that will really help them. Am I imagining things, or is that kind of true? And because that's a pro-social trait, they will say, oh yeah, I'm like that. And then you can solidify this by asking a presuppositional question with a double bind. So when you have those experiences, when you have ideas, unique ideas that can genuinely help other people, and you give people advice that benefits them, how does that come across internally? Does that slowly build up, or do you just get like a flash of insight? And it doesn't really matter what these questions are, only that they're an either or question around how the experience comes out in their brain. And simply by considering which of these is the best answer, they will accept and solidify and strengthen the presupposition that they have this pro-social trait, whether it's making strong decisions or having unique ideas or being proactive or being a good leader when nobody else knows what to do. But once you identity prime them with this pro-social trait, they will feel as if you have noticed something in them that qualifies them to be in the top 20% of society. And that is the prime directive of human existence, to behave in a way in society so other people recognize us as belonging, as being qualified to be in that top 20% of society. So when you identity prime somebody with these pro-social traits that everybody believes they have stronger than 80% of the people, they will feel like you are noticing something in them that qualifies them to be in the top 20% of society. And that will feel absolutely fantastic. And they will subconsciously associate that feeling with you and whatever you're selling. And whatever you recommend them to do will be an extension of their belonging in the top 20%. It will validate their belief that they belong in the top 20%. And you can set this up as a complex equivalent. Because of your pro-social trait, you will understand this next aspect of our product or service more than most. Let me tell you about it. And so now you're connecting their pro-social trait with some kind of features and benefit of your product. Because of your ability to understand human nature more than most, you will probably appreciate this aspect of our product more than most. Let me explain it to you. Now, here's the kicker. It doesn't matter if this doesn't make any sense, because if they say this doesn't make any sense, they will also be agreeing subconsciously that their belonging in the top 20% also doesn't make any sense. So this is a sure win close that they will absolutely agree with, even if it doesn't make any sense. This is kind of like Pavlovian advertising. We see a pretty girl, we see a car, we associate the pretty girl with the car, even though it doesn't make any sense. That's how our subconscious brain operates. It makes these connections. And when you lay it out like that, because of your pro-social trait, you will probably understand this next feature and benefit more so than most. Let me explain it to you. And just the explanation will be a validation of their belief in their top 20%. Which means when they buy the product, that will be a validation of their belief and their belonging in the top 20% of society. But if you want to make it even less likely that they'll blink when you say this thing, you can take this complex equivalence because of your pro-social trait. You will appreciate this next feature and benefit more so than most. You can take this and put it inside of a linguistic presupposition. So it will go in even deeper on a subconscious level, and they will buy your product as a validation of their belonging in the top 20%, which means you will have zero resistance whatsoever.